friends, welcome back to my channel. Good to see you all again, virtually and spiritually. We were watching YouTube videos, as I am to do, and I came across this wonderful channel. I want to get it right. The channel is called Spill, and I'll leave a URL, a link in the description box to the video that I watched. But the video is basically called TikTok's viral boyfriend test backfire. They keep getting worse. So this is like it's a 34-minute video, and I was eating up all of it because I love, clearly if I have a channel that talks about relationships and challenges of that sort, of course I'm going to be like very interested in it. I just think it's very interesting how people's minds work when it comes to relationship, or sometimes how they don't work. And so I was watching it, I had many opinions. So I thought, why not sit down and share some of them with you? Won't walk through everything. I wanted to highlight a few things I saw in the video. If you're interested in it from a deeper sense, and they even mentioned some like studies or bring in some relationship people or people that work in like psychology and sociology. So I highly recommend looking at that video. But if you just want the quick, dirty rundown of my thoughts and opinions, well, baby, you came to the right place. So before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all for joining me as we go through some of these challenges. And I'll make sure I drop some examples, TikTok examples on these videos as well. Also, before we get started with my thoughts about the video, I don't want to hear anything about like, but Jonathan, you always give advice and tell people to like break up, and what's the difference between that and like this boyfriend test thing? I will tell you, one, don't put me in the same boat, okay? First of all, the people that write on Reddit, they all have an issue that they want resolved. And a lot of these people are looking for an outside opinion, which is why they posted on Reddit. Versus on TikTok, you could be in a fully healthy relationship, but you're trying to do this for a trend, but there's like, as the video states, backfiring to that happening. You could be in a healthy relationship and being tested feels like an invasion of privacy. It feels weird for some people, and rightfully so in my opinion. Why is this necessary to do? There's a lot of host of things that come along with it. You're not just doing a test to see if this is a relationship you should continue. You're doing this test to put it on social media. With your face, right? It's not like on Reddit where it's like you can hide behind a descriptor name. You have your face, you have a following. This person is now going to get dragged into it. Like some of these people, like the one guy that was like, I'm not your husband. Remember, he answered right away. I saw that video before. You probably, if you know, you know, okay? And drop it in the comments if you want to drop a link to it. But people had many opinions. And even after that video, she kept posting videos about other things like get ready with me and all that kind of stuff. And everyone kept saying like, are you going to leave that man? That's not your business. I know you feel like it's your business, but like now this guy with the face who said something, which was, by the way, true. He is not her husband. Should he have said it in that way? I know I wouldn't have, but that's neither here nor there. The way that they're hounding her and involved in the relationship, you invite that in when you do that kind of thing on social media. So I don't recommend it, which will be, spoiler alert, my full opinion about that. Test number one. All right, we're going to talk about test number one. Test number one is called the ketchup test.
I want to test something.
Now this one was the one that got me hot, okay? I will use something as a little fake ketchup dispenser. We'll use this copy of Love Never Dies by Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's the Australian production. I like it. Say what you want. So basically, a lot of this, I think almost all of them are exclusively like girlfriends with their boyfriends. And I'm sure there's some gay guys that got into it too. LOL. So you basically have the girlfriend go in front of the boyfriend usually. The phone is set up, it's propped, it's like right here, boom. Take the ketchup, squirt it on the counter.
What are you doing? No! No!
Close the cap, throws it down and says, clean it up.
Stop that!
Okay, clean it up.
Why?
Please.
Now, first of all, I don't know about you. If I was ever with my partner, they made a mess actively in front of me and then said, clean it up, I would be like, who the hell you talking to? I am no slave. Okay, well, I spit on that one because I was so mad. I am not a slave. Clean it up. I didn't even get a please. And you could say please, and I'm still not going to do it. You know why? Because that's not my job. I don't understand. And it's so funny because it's like, not only should your partner clean it up, they have to do it correctly, right? And I have two thoughts about this. My first thought about it when I saw it was, oh, you expect to make a mess, right? It's like my first thought is like relationships should be partnerships. So, and it is not fair to burden your partner with a lot of the mistakes that you make. Now, they're allowed to help with it. They should be able to help with it, but you should be willing in all instances to take lead for things that you caused. How do you actively cause an issue and then tell your partner to fix it? Not, "Hey, can you help me fix this?" Or, "Can you pass me a napkin and see if he does it?" Or just like, right? Because there's a difference between like, "You did that. Why'd you do that?" "I don't know. Can you pass me a napkin so I can clean it up?" Like, okay, right. That's at least a little different than doing that and telling them to clean it up. And then you're going to video them under the stressful situation, like, let's see if you do it, let's see if you do it right. Because your partner knows, oh my gosh, they're gonna post this if I don't do this right. So now you add this extra pressure for them to clean it up right. And the one girl, she got what she deserved because she told her man to do it. She did it with hot sauce, and he was spreading it all around, trying to clean it up with paper towels. Apparently, he used too many paper towels, whatever. But now half of now half of her counter space is orange because she decided it was cute to do that. And I'm glad. I'm glad it turned orange. Because girl, what the hell are you doing? Why was that necessary to do? Oh, spoiler alert, it wasn't necessary to do. But it's so ridiculous to think that like, oh, my partner should just do this for me. I know I made the mistake, I made the mess, but they should just do this for me without me asking and taking responsibility, or not even saying sorry, just clean it up. There's something about that dynamic and feeling comfortable enough to do that and say that in that way that just felt very uncomfortable. Very much like, this relationship is not a partnership, it's my ship, and we do what I say and what I want to do, right? And it's and to do it in front of me, I would have had a conniption. That is the worst thing. If anyone is watching this, please, if you do any of the tests, which again I don't think that you should do, the ketchup test is the last one you should do. I think it is such a high form of disrespect. And I ain't no little bitch like the man that did clean it up. Say that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Somewhat. I will say that felt like a level of disrespect that I would not engage in, especially because it was for social media. Mm-mm. I ain't the one. Ooh, and you're lucky I ain't the one. Ooh, an earful. Whew. All right, with that, we're going to talk about one other test. This was the last test they talked about in the video. It's called like the orange test or the orange peel test.
I really want an orange right now.
Basically, the partner, once again, usually the girl will just have an orange and say like, "Hey, can you peel this for me?" and give it to their partner and ask them to peel it.
All right, try here, but I got you, buddy.
Which I think is like innocent enough. Like I thought about if I was in a situation, be like, well, why? Right? And there could be different reasons. Like, oh, there's a difference between like, oh, my nails, or I have a cut, I don't want to get the citrus juice on it, or like, oh, my hands are dirty right now, or like I'm typing something up, so I don't want to like get all messy, or like I don't want my hands to really smell like citrus. So like, could you do this for me?
I really want it, but like I hate peeling it.
You hate peeling it?
Yeah,
All right,
it just gets really messy.
Okay.
And I have nails, it'll get like underneath them.
There's nothing wrong with like asking them, and like I think for a partner to do a small act of service, like absolutely, which is what one of the things the video was mentioning about the test, about being able to ask for small things and feeling comfortable with that, right? Because if you can't ask for some of the smaller things, how can you ask for the bigger things?
Tough luck, buddy. Go ahead and do her.
You're not gonna peel it for me?
Dude, okay, as if I don't do enough.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm being for real. Okay?
You can't fucking peel this orange for me.
Dude, I ask you to do things all the
I
time.
do everything. I just did your fucking laundry.
No.
I think in terms of like ideology, that makes a lot of sense. However, this is something that is put on, right? It's a test, so it's put on. You're in a situation where you have full capability to do it, you just don't want to, and you're doing it in a way, once again, to try to embarrass your partner on social media or to prove something to someone else. Even if you're in a healthy and fine relationship, why would you feel the need to test it?
And you can't peel this for me?
Dude, come on, man.
Seriously?
No.
My thing is, once again, I agree with like the value of, I'm a big person about like, it's not always the act, it's what the act means, right? So saying like, it's not a big labor on me, you asked me for help, so I'm going to do this for you because I love you and I care about you. Absolutely. And it's, if they can do that with smaller tasks that are less meaningful, of course they're going to do it with, I should say of course, it's very likely that they'll do it with some bigger tasks. You'll see in some of the comments that people left under some of these videos, they were like, my husband always peeled my oranges. he still cheated on me, right? It's not a guarantee. Keep that in mind. There's something to say about the value that comes from the test because of the meaning of it. However, you should just take that as an example. You can look back in your relationship and see examples where, oh, I was watching a movie on the couch with them and they were going to grab a drink or they're going to the bathroom. And then you ask them, hey, can you grab me this on your way back? Or like, oh, you want a drink? Yeah, sure. Can you also make me some popcorn? Right. And seeing, like, you can look back in your experience with this person, because I'm assuming if you're willing to do this test, you've been together for a minute. You should have enough interaction to see, like, actually, when I've asked them to do small tasks, they have done them, or they haven't. And like when I ask them to do something, they constantly complain. But like I always do things freely given, right? And then you can have a conversation with them. Shocker, right? Because communication is key if you want a relationship to work. So going to the person and saying like, hey, I feel like I do a lot of like acts of service for you, but I don't feel like you give that to me. And when I ask you for things, I feel like you get very upset with me. And I promise you their reaction to your want to have a conversation about something important to you is going to tell you if they're invested in a relationship, right? It's either like they called something out right and they're going to let their ego go and say like, hey, you know what? You're right. I don't do that. Or like, I could be better with that. Or sorry. Maybe they're like, I don't see it that way. Maybe you say like, you don't do these things for me. And then maybe they go back and say, well, you don't do those things for me either. And then you take that on the chin. You say, maybe we should start doing it for each other. All that happens with communication and conversation. And like you have enough information. You don't need to do this orange peel test. You have enough information to know if they have done these small acts for you. And if you realize that they haven't done these small acts for you, if there's been a reluctance or an attitude or any of those things, you should feel comfortable enough in a relationship to talk to your partner about it. And if they are dismissive of you, well, guess what? That's probably not going to change. So you should up and out, okay? Or up and leave. Whatever. Do what you got to do. But if they are receptive to the conversation, maybe it doesn't go as smoothly as you like, but you see that they are receptive to the critiques and the information, then like, yay, there's probably some hope there. But like one thing that was a quote that was in the video that I want to say from apparently sex and relationship psychologist Charisse Cook. Relationship tests are not really fair because they do not take into account context, the situation, personality, or another person's intentions and motivations. Also, she does see one potential use for them, though. They can be useful if we tend to minimize issues in our partnerships and be in denial about some of the problematic aspects of our relationship. Doing a test, it can draw attention to attitudes or behaviors in a relationship that are not healthy or loving, right? So with that, again, like doing these tests like out of context, right? Is right if a person has had a very bad day, now you're asking them to peel an orange when they know you could do it, and then they see you have the phone out, like that would bother me. And now if you're going to use that to judge our whole relationship, that is extremely unfair when you're putting me in this position to like once again test me for something that doesn't need to be tested. I'm saying this for me personally because I feel like I would be a partner that is attentive. Call me. LOL. Yeah, and like the second part said, like sometimes these tests are useful for, again, like it's the same thing with people that go to Reddit. Like, hey, are you actually looking at your relationship in a fair way or not? Right? And like that's an honest question. And again, in my opinion, I don't think you need to do the test. You know what the test is supposed to show. I think if you're honest with yourself, I mean, truly honest with yourself, you've had enough interactions with this person to know whether or not they would pass this test. Like, you know. And you shouldn't let this one, right? And let's say you don't think they pass this one time, but every other time that they've been bad, dismissive, all those things, but they did it because they saw you were filming it. Have some sense. Come on now. Come on. That was a little rude. It's hard when it's very difficult when you're in a relationship and you care about someone, but you feel disregarded. Make sure that you're very honest as you're doing those evaluations so you can actually do what's best for you. That's what I'll say. Oh, and like I said, communication is key. At the end of the day, communication is key. So keep that in mind as you navigate life. All right, friends, that is it for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me what you think about these tests, especially if you watched the whole video. Even if you don't, tell me what you think about the ketchup test as well as the orange test. I think it's a complete and utter disaster. I don't know why people feel comfortable doing it, but I want to know what you think. because obviously a lot of people did do it, and a lot of people have opinions. All right, love y'all, and talk to you later. Bye.